Hello, welcome to Mini Homesteading with the McClures. I just want to give you just a little bit of a backstory from where I'm coming from starting this page, just because this is my very first video, and I just want you all to be in the know of what's going on here with this page. So, I am a Christian mother and wife of a beautiful family of 9. We do not own, we rent. Now, this is where the mini homesteading comes in, because the property that we have is not acreage. The property that we have is not owned to where we can just do whatever we want to do with. We have to do what we do with permission. So this is mini homesteading. We do some gardening. This year is going to be our first year that we really actually try to have a yield that we put away and can. My husband and I did not grow up gardeners. We did not grow up in a family of gardeners. We both have had very little experience actually maneuvering along with someone else. Very few times in our life, but never really maneuvered a garden on our own and was fully responsible for it. So the last several years we have gardened, and we have just kind of ate through the summer months, froze a little bit of food, gave away a lot, and called it a day. And to be truthful and honest and transparent, my husband has actually traveled during some of the seasons that we have gardened. And so leaving the responsibility up to myself, I struggled with that. But it was all a learning experience, and I have learned how to maneuver things if I have to do it on my own. I have learned just a lot. I've learned a lot of information. So for terms for keeping this video kind of short, I'm just going to say, hey, this year we're going to do a whole new experience, a whole new journey of canning, of actually putting away a yield, and I want to help others, okay, to want to start this journey, no matter your situation, even if you do not have an owned property, even if you do not have much space, that you can do a lot in a little bit of space with your time and your resources. And what this does is this will help you to become more self-sufficient, and that's our journey. We want to become more self-sufficient, self-reliant. We want to stop having to spend so much money on food. We don't want to be reliant on grocery stores as to whether or not we can have certain things. We want to be the most self-sufficient that we can be. In the long run, it does save money to do things this way. Starting out, you will have to spend a little bit of money because you have to get your starting things that you're going to need that you can use over and over, such as things like cans or cattle pen gates, or gates, is that what they're called? I don't know. Cattle pen sheets. That's probably wrong too. I don't know. Hey, whatever. But what I'm talking about is trellises, which I'm going to show y'all whenever we do ours. We'll get into that later. But I'm just saying, for example, all of the things that you're going to buy in the beginning is going to cost a little bit of money. But once you do these things, you have your canners, you have your jars, you have all of the things, have your shelving and whatever else you're going to need. It's reusable. So let's do this. Right now, a lot of people depend on, like I said, stores and other things for resources. And I think that over the years, through technology and just everybody being busy trying to make money to pay the rent and the bills and all of the things, that things have been lost in time. Values have been lost in time. And we've been pulled more and more away from our family lives, from having, I don't know what you would call it, to pass down knowledge and understanding of things, to pass down the ability to be self-sufficient, to be passed down the generations. Because I know my parents didn't teach me. And I know somewhere up in my lineage somewhere that my people, somewhere down the line, depended on themselves for food, for water, for all of the things. Having a property that has wells or, just natural resources to be able to use for your family that isn't going to cost an arm and a leg, and for you to have to pay water bills and other taxes and all these things that we are subject to here in America. And so here in my day, in my time at 36, I feel the struggle, and so does my husband, and we both have been just looking for relief. And in order for me to be home, homeschooling the kids, or just taking care of the things here, and still do things with the works of my hands to bring a little cash in on the side while he is working, he is on the fire department, doing little things that he can to bring in a little extra cash flow, we still struggle from time to time. And so I know we're not the only ones, okay, because I know that this is just all across the board. Everybody's feeling the pressure and the struggles. This is 2025, so you know what I'm saying? Like, things are just a little crazy in certain places around here. So what we're doing here, what I intend with this page, is to encourage others to begin your own journey of being self-sufficient, self-reliant, not having to spend so much money on all of these things that we're blowing our money on, trying to just make ends meet to feed our families, to pay our bills and those things, so that we can have a little extra money to put back, where we can have things like a Roth ROA, IRA, whatever. Y'all know what I'm talking about. All the grown-up stuff. We can have all that grown-up stuff and not have to worry about where we're going to get the funds for those things, so that we can have our families took care of, where we can have extra things, where we can even put up money to be able to buy a home. And so I believe that it starts here. It starts with coming back to the basics and just learning the basics for how to be self-sufficient, self-reliant, and number one, feeding ourselves, okay? So that's huge. Groceries are high. That's one of the things that all of us are feeling. So let me show you what we have done this far. It is March. It is, the 19th maybe or something? Let me look. Let me see if I can look. Yeah, March 24th today is what our date is, okay? And so we have started seeds. We had a storm last week, probably 2 or 3 days after we started all of our seeds, okay? We started many seeds this year, with the intent to have a big garden this year, because we want to have a big yield of things to come in. I kind of think that we really overdid it, but in the end, we're going to be able to put at least enough food away for the next year, and be able to also sell produce, which was really the goal, to be able to make money also out of our garden. So you'll see what I'm talking about just now here in just 2 seconds. I'm going to show you this. First of all, several things here to unpack. We started squash, crooked neck squash, okay? This is yellow squash. This is crook neck summer squash, is what it's called. We labeled it because we got extra this year, guys. I don't care. I love it. I can be extra because I'm me. So, check this out. If anyone has ever told you that you have to have such and such and so in order to start seeds, they're a liar. This is a paper plate from a very cheap pack of paper plates that we got. Of course, we have tons of kids. We buy the cheap paper plates from time to time because that's what we got. That's what we have to work with. Check this out. I'm probably going to have some people, if they view this, to say you're doing this wrong, or to say, look at those roots, blah, blah, blah. Look at how the plastic is kind of pressing on the plants, blah, blah, blah. Let me tell you something. Over the last couple of days, I've gotten this growth. This seed was not like that yesterday. So I actually have had a root to sprout out just since yesterday, and it's carrying on with its business pretty quickly. So this thing is taking off very fast. We have 2 of them. And I'm sure that by the end of the day, literally, these things are going to be even more so grown. So between today and tomorrow, I have some water bottles. And I'm going to show y'all how I did that also. But that's going to be another time because I got to kind of run through this a little quickly. But I'm going to put each individual squash plant into a water bottle, just to get it a little more grown before we put it in our garden, because I'm afraid that at this point the birds will take off with these. So I'm going to let these sprout up just a little more, transplant them by tomorrow, and they will be, doing their thing. These are actually from a bag of onions from a friend at our church who let her onions go a little too long on the counter, and guess what? They started sprouting. Not a bad thing, brother. Sure is not a bad thing, because look at this. Look at this. Look at them roots coming out on that thing. Healthy, healthy, healthy. A lot of people don't know this, but you can take an onion from off the counter. Once it has sprouted, each onion can go, I think, up to 6 sprouts per onion. And you just break it down, like break down the outer part, pull it off. Once you have these green sprigs on it, and you have 3, 4, 5, up to 6, maybe, I don't know, maybe your onion's big enough that you have more than 6 sprouts. And there you go. I have them in a jar to kind of root them out just a little more. And I plan on putting them in the ground in the next couple days, because some of them have roots that are established already. So there's that. 6, 7, 8, 9. I think 9 there, and there's more elsewhere. So, also, I have one on the counter. You'll see it's got all of this. 1, 2, 3. So it's got 3 starter shoots out of this one onion. Check that out. That's awesome. These, I live in Kentucky. I doubt they will do anything. I've tried an avocado tree before. It was beautiful. I had it for a couple of years. They're slow growing. Probably because we're in Kentucky, or maybe just because they're slow growing. I don't know, but I'm going to put them in there and into some soil and have me a little tree, okay? This is a gourd plant, gourd seed. I lost the seeds. They got scattered out. I was able to save one. And so I have that in a napkin, in the window, in a paper bag, in a plastic bag. I can start it, and we'll see about getting that out. Also, here's my bag of onions from my friend. There's some more sprouts, but they're not sprouted enough yet for me yet. So I'm going to let them keep doing their thing on the counter for a little while longer. My husband's probably going to be like, put that away. Also, real quick, a couple more minutes and I'm done. I have lavender seeds. Now these you have to cold sprout. I don't know if that's what you call them. Probably going to have some people on here telling me that's not what it is. But you know what I'm saying. You take them, you put them in a napkin, wet in a bag, put it in the refrigerator, and I had wrote down the date. Mother's Day is when I'll be able to take those out and start those seeds out.